Welcome back, Canaanites. We're officially in May now, so you know what time it is. April was an exciting month for me, if nothing else, so let's dive in. We start off with, in case you missed it, April saw the release of 4, technically 5 videos. Starting the month out, 2 weeks into the month, was a full review and analysis of Halo Point of Light. Following that, I went over the details from the latest #Ask343 video covering audio design, then moved on to talk about the armor, abilities, tactical packages, and support upgrades of Halo 4 in the current conclusion to the Halo Armory video series. More to come eventually, but that one is done for now. On Friday, April 30th, I had a community game night that was a ton of fun, and just yesterday, I finally released my breakdown of the latest Inside Infinite, going over how 343 is approaching PC development on the game. Yeah, that last one was released in May, but this is my channel and I do what I want. All these videos can be found linked below if you haven't seen them already. And before we move on, today marks the official start of my time as a full-time YouTuber. So expect more consistent and frequent uploads, as I can now dedicate my full days to content creation. I'm looking forward to what comes next, and I want to thank everyone that has supported this channel over the years, be you someone who was here from the beginning, or someone who just joined. I wouldn't be able to make this dream happen if it weren't for you. So, as I used to say, thank you. Profusely, thank you. Now then, let's move on to official news and releases. The month started out strong with the release of Season 6 for MCC on April 7th. Titled Raven, this season saw the addition of Fireteam Raven ODST armors to Halo 3, in addition to new animated visors, weapon skins, and some Halo Online armors, among so much more. April 13th saw a new employee spotlight for 343 Industries, this one focusing on Baraket Kifle, I hope I didn't butcher that too terribly, software engineer lead, part of the development team on 343's internal Team Oni, part of their IT department. As always, check out the full interview to learn more, along with other employee spotlights, to get a look behind the scenes. April 14th saw the release of the second series of Jazzware's 4-inch Halo figures, and a few days later, Dark Horse announced the exciting news that the original Halo graphic novel from 2006 would be reprinted for the first time in years. This classic production has been out of print for some time, and I am excited for fans who have never gotten the pleasure to enjoy this classic masterpiece. No word on a release date yet though. April 29th saw a new update for MCC, which included a custom games browser scale test. Though it only features Halo Reach at the moment and has its share of issues, it looks like work on it is coming along nicely. A brief interview with design director Max Lasgore preceded this release over on Halo Waypoint's forums. And of course, wrapping up the month was the latest Inside Infinite article, covering tons of awesome details on how 343 is optimizing the game for PC, and including some exciting new screenshots. But with that, we come to my favorite part of these videos, the community shoutouts. First up we have Reclaimer Gaming, a relatively new channel that focuses mainly on what-if scenarios, such as what if Noble 6 survived the events of Halo Reach, or what if the rookie became a Spartan 4. Check it out and subscribe if you enjoy his content. Next up we have this amazing, and I mean really amazing, MA5C overview by Garand Thumb. Known for his reviews of firearms, for the last couple years his channel has made April Fool's reviews of Halo weaponry. These are made as if they're being broadcast from in-universe, and the details he covers both from the lore and his own knowledge base is fantastic. Check out the video, if not the rest of his channel. Next up we have this take on Blue Team in Gen 3 armor from Liberty. They're kit bashes of actual Gen 3 pieces with some Gen 1 and 2 pieces thrown in for a unique overall look. Check out Liberty on Twitter. After that we have this wonderful piece by Matty McDee evoking a classic moment from Halo 2 with a new look. It's gorgeous, so check it out on Twitter. Following that we have this wonderful Blender piece by Kawaii of 2 UEG citizens visiting a Covenant War Museum in 2589. I love pieces like this, a different look at the Halo universe. It reminds me a lot of Outpost Discovery and the experiences had there. Check out the artist, Kawaii, on Twitter. The Mjolnir Mark V model here was created by AbiSV, whom you can also find on Twitter. After that, we have a shout out for the Sacred Icon podcast, a fantastic Halo podcast who just concluded a retrospective on Halo 4's campaign, joined by the ever wonderful Haruspis. It's crazy to think they spent 16 hours on Halo 4, but when you have Harspus with you, I suppose that's expected. Check out the Sacred Icon podcast on Twitter and Spotify. Next, we have a wonderful Mega Construx stop-motion animation by Matthew Salvatore. You can find the full animation on the Podcast Evolved YouTube channel, and Matthew himself on Twitter. Following that, we have a custom Sentinel design from The Nightfall on Twitter, mixing aspects of classic and newer Sentinel Aggressor designs with some of his own ideas. Check out Nightfall on Twitter. Next up, we have a video from the channel called The Domain, who, among other things, reviews Halo Mega Construx. Recently, he got an early look at the Series 3 blind bags, the bags you can purchase that'll have one of 8 possible figures, and revealed the immediately adored Weapon Rack Grunt, as I'm calling it at least. If you want to keep up to date with Mega Construx, check out The Domain on YouTube. On the subject of Mega Construx, we next have a piece of figure art by Tom Jurassic, which finds Spartan Locke caught between a trio of chieftains, including Hyperius. Guess he's about to find out why Hyperius is called Spartan Hunter. Check out Tom on Twitter. Next up is a cosplay work in progress by the Makyr on Twitter, showing off 3D printed Mjolnir Gen 3 legs. Makyr has more samples of his work on his Twitter, so be sure to check him out. After that, we have a tribute to various looks of the Master Chief by CustomChief. Check it out on Twitter. Next up is a wonderful piece of a Spartan facing down what could be their final mission. But you know what they say, Spartans never die. Check out the artist D27 Chagoo on Twitter. After that, we have a fantastic little animation from Stu FX on Twitter. He's done several mini animations like this, so be sure to check him out. After that, we have a brute redesign from the ever-fantastic Lexington Dath. As ever, Lexington takes the basic design and really makes it alien and terrifying in fantastic ways. I've loved their previous works, but this brute design really just takes my breath away. Check out Lexington Dath on Twitter. Next up is something truly amazing, a COD zombie style mod for Halo 3 on MCC by Crisp. A mod of the end of the level Sierra 117, you basically get to fight off waves of flood. It's so much fun, and I'd love an official version of this someday, perhaps down the line for Halo Infinite. For now though, check out Crisp on YouTube and download the mod at Nexus Mods. After that, we have this wonderful traditional media piece featuring the Master Chief following a group of Sentinels into an unexpected cavern. Check out the artist Ricky117 on Twitter. Next up, we have more toy photography, this time from Mooreshots, featuring a group of Helljumpers taking on an elite warlord. Check out Mooreshots on Twitter. Following that is a work in progress from Sierra IO7 or Jack on Twitter, a Kitbash Mark 7, meaning various elements that weren't originally part of the same model brought together. It's coming along very nicely, and I can't wait to see the finished product. Check out Jack on Twitter. Next up, I want to give a general shout out to the composer Alyx G Music on Twitter and YouTube. Recently, Alyx has been hard at work producing free-use Halo music, encouraging Halo content creators to use it. It's absolutely fantastic stuff, and what you've been hearing in the background for this month's community shoutouts. Be sure to check out Alyx G Music on YouTube and Twitter, along with her other social media, and consider supporting her if you enjoy what you hear. Following that, we have one of my favorite 3D artists, Gattuso, with this piece representing a take on Spartan Ops for Halo Infinite. I would love to see a second go at a Spartan Ops experience, heavily overhauled of course. Check out Vin on Twitter. After that, we have another piece celebrating the Chief's many armors and looks, this time from Ethereal on Twitter. It's absolutely gorgeous, so be sure to check him out. Next up is more Mark 7 goodness, this time from artist David Savastano, I hope I got that right, with his take on a Mark 7B helmet. It's absolutely fantastic, so check out David on Twitter. Following that, I want to give a shout out to the classic fan comic, A Fistful of Arrows. It seems that the site that hosted it had some problems recently, but it's back up now and available to read. If you've never heard of this fan comic is set just after June separates from Noble Team to escort Dr. Halsey to Castle Base. It's a great story with some amazing art. Check out the comic linked below, along with the artist, Leviathan. Next up, I want to give a shout out to Hidden Xperia's new cooking channel, Flooded with Flavor. The dude has been posting about the foods he makes on Twitter for years now, and I'm glad to see him fully embracing this passion alongside his main channel. If you haven't checked out Flooded with Flavour yet, do so now. After that, we have this awesome art of the Arbiter by Venom Mo. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the art style reminds me of that poster of the Chief at Arbiter that came with Halo 3, so that's a bonus. Check out Venom Mo on Twitter. Next up, we have an amazing take on the Sangheili Curve Blade by Vicarious. A traditional bladed weapon, Vicarious created an energy bladed version here. Check her out on Twitter. And our penultimate shoutout goes to Heath Bar with this awesome video of an ODST shredding. Check it out on Twitter, bros. Of course, wrapping up the video, as ever, is the Halo Community Spotlight for April. Check out this collection of beautiful art and creations from stuff like the content we've been covering today, and much, much more. That wraps up the monthly recap for today, but remember, if you have anything you'd like to see promoted, be that your own content or someone else's, let me know in the comments below. There really are no restrictions on this. And hopefully now that I'm full-time YouTube, I can find a better way to curate these shoutouts. At the moment, I basically rely on my Twitter retweets and saved Reddit posts. We'll see how things evolve as time goes on though. For now, thank you for watching as always, and until next time, this has been Halo Canon. Special thanks to our theoretical patrons. If you'd like to see your name here or get a direct shoutout, check out patreon.com/halocanon. You can simply support the channel or get additional benefits, such as behind-the-scenes materials and shoutouts like this. However, your continued viewership is more than enough for me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. If you really enjoy this, turn on that notification bell so you can be among the first to see new videos when they release. But for all my fellow Canonites, keep on being awesome.